many times haven't we seen movies that people try to build up like masterpieces even before they get released? That is also the case with Dune Part Two, who already was expected to be the next Lord of the Rings franchise or something like that. If they managed to actually deliver on that, it would be no problem. But this movie is actually even worse than the first one and dragged in a lot of moments. I would really say it is heavily overrated because when you create a movie that lasts almost 3 hours, you need to create more quality. Denis Villeneuve, the director here, recently talked about that people want longer movies, but then he needs to create more quality in the process. It especially feels dragged after Atreides drinks that water of life to see visions even stronger, and it becomes once again all about building up an even greater war. You of course remember in the first movie that you tried to build up this great war, but now you build up an even greater war, which will happen in the third movie, but in that process it becomes a dragged affair. You have some fight scenes, some talk about alliances, but things are done very messy here, and it includes the fight scenes, which only show about one good fight, and one between Atreides and Fade Rotha, where you manage to create intensity. The rest are pretty weak, and there's a general feeling that you are supposed to feel a tense dramatic mood with the music, rather than you should see the movie deliver intensity and dramatic moments in the scenes. Another problem is the general forced creation of comic moments in the movie. That is especially seen in still a character that goes on a forced rampage trying to make everybody laugh, when in reality it is just a forced attempt to create jokes, which are not really funny, but of course everybody in cinema laughs at them because they feel forced to or are so spellbound by the Dune movie. That's why also the movie at times actually can feel childish. That's not to say that you can't have comic moments, but they do not need to be so forced. Another issue I will discuss are too many characters, which I feel we see in a lot of movies these days. With the character gallery here, it is hard to create a good movie. In addition, the evil guys like Rabban, the Emperor, played by Christopher Walken, and Fade Rotha, are hardly in this movie when they actually are very much interesting characters, but really aren't allowed to shine that much, because the story has a heavy build-up where Atreides needs to be the master of the desert and get a confidence from the Firman to be the leader, and those moments are the most important in this one. The creation of a legend of his own that almost could have been a first movie and the second could have been a prequel. That's another problem I think that this movie, although it builds on the first movie, but it really feels like a part of a double build-up, which then again throws me away from calling it a masterpiece. Of course, I'm not saying we need war all the time, but the focus is so much on the desert people and less on the evil side trying to take down Atreides, and we don't see tense fights. So that's why for me I am disappointed, and I can't stretch my rating to more than a 5 out of 10.